Dear comic book back issue gods, please give me an opportunity to flip all of my books. I've been sitting on Mighty Avengers #1, Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16, Marvel Superheroes 13, Ms. Marvel #1, and all new Marvel Now .1 #1 for 2 years. Please, comic book gods, give me the opportunity to sell these books in the market. Can I get a trailer or anything that's going to take these books off of my hands? What's that? You gave me a trailer? What? People don't want those books? Darben? L'Oreal? Who are they? You mean to tell me that I've been sitting on the first appearances of all these characters and nobody wants them? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swag Class. I hope you enjoyed my adaptation of the hypothetical comic book seller out there in the market who goes to bed every night praying to the comic book gods that they were going to finally be able to offload all of these Marvel books. Lo and behold, turns out the market doesn't want them. The market wants the new spec characters. So in this video, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about the recent Marvel's trailer, another market report here on the channel. We got to talk about the interesting things that is happening out there and how there's actually a little bit of almost market controversy in what book people actually want to buy. But before I get into it, if you guys could drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, helps support the channel, doing those things, I'd appreciate it. But let's get into this video here today. Of course, yesterday, we got the Marvel's trailer. Now, I'm sure you guys all saw it by now. It was, it was a trailer. It was a thing. Not my favorite, not something that I think is going to save the MCU, but I think there were some people out there that at least enjoyed the member berries of the Beastie Boys soundtrack. But I think one of the interesting things about the trailer is, you know how the market does. Speculators gonna speculate. We got this image of this character right here, presumably the villain of the movie. This is the actress Zawe Ashton. I believe I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Forgive me if I'm not. But as soon as she showed up, well, a lot of interesting books started to move out there in the market. Not the ones that you would suspect, but the ones that I suppose people have been kind of talking about for speculation reasons for quite some time. Of course, the most notable book right here is this one, Silver Surfer #53. And what is the significance of this? Well, of course, this is the first appearance of two Kree generals, one known as Aldan and another known as Darben. Now, let's not kid ourselves here. Aldan, Darben, not the flagship villain characters of Marvel comic books. Not even close to that. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Silver Surfer series right here. Of course, this was going on during the time of, Infinity Gauntlet, as you can see in the upper right corner, Infinity Gauntlet crossover. But nobody cares about these characters. Nobody cares about this character. And we had been hearing that it was going to be possible that we were going to get a gender-bent version of the Darben Kree general and have them show up in the Marvel's movie. And of course, when we got this trailer, there were some press reports that actually confirmed that this actress is in fact playing Darben. So, of course, like the market does, a lot of sales for Silver Surfer #53. I mean, a lot relative sales. I mean, we're not talking about Spider-Boy amounts of sales here, but a decent amount of movement in the market, enough so that you'll probably see this book showing up out there in the, hot 10 lists and things like that. So we're talking about, 3/4 of an eBay page. It's probably about, 30, 35 books. This is just one of those books where, again, not to say that this is selling for crazy numbers. I mean, you got 10 books here, you got $8 here. You got some slash prices. I mean, maybe people paid upwards of, 14 if they thought a newsstand was worth getting, or a 9.6 right here, went for $100. I mean, buy what you like, but just remember, there are a lot of these books out there in the market sitting on dollar bins. In fact, if I go Silver Surfer 53 and I sort by newly listed, I mean, there's a lot of people, who have been praying to the comic book gods to sell their Silver Surfer #53 book. I mean, quite a few. I mean, this is just the first page that we're seeing newly listed. I'm sure there's going to be many more to come. But interesting to see that there are actually people hopping on this book, buying this thing. I mean, do we really think that this character is going to be any more than a one-off villain for the Marvels movie here? I mean, I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But of course, we have to talk about some of the controversy that is actually sort of happening around this character. We got to talk about Captain Marvel number 18 from 2020, written by Kelly Thompson. And this book right here, what is the significance of this? Well, this would be the first appearance of L'Oreal, the half-sister of Carol Danvers. Now, Spiegelhaus, why do we care about that? You know, it's already been confirmed that Dar-Ben is the character that we're going to get in the Marvels movie. Well, if you go into this book right here, you'll see some images of a Kree soldier, you know, a female Kree soldier that looks, I don't know if you want to call it similar to her character design right here. I mean, it's similar in the fact that she's got the Ronin hammer, you know, the accuser hammer, and then maybe the costume is somewhat similar, but it's not like this girl has blue skin. You know, I think in the book right here, L'Oreal, in fact, does have blue Kree skin, but a lot of people in the market are jumping on this book right here, and not just this book. They're jumping specifically on the second print variant cover. Similar situation to Spider-Boy. When this book came out, it of course had cover A, which I just showed you right here. It had a bunch of other variants, of course, like Marvel does with their variants. And then they did a second printing for this one that had a 1 in 25 variant, this cover right here. And this seems to be the one that is really, really hot in the market. If we go in here to the sold listings, we can actually see a decent amount of sales. I mean, not as many as Silver Surfer number 53, but you know, there weren't as many available. I mean, again, this is a 1 in 25, a second print for probably a book that, I don't know, I'm not going to say that it's like super rare or anything, but there's just not a lot out there. And you can actually see that this is selling for a pretty decent amount. You know, $30 here, $35 here. We see a 9.8 going to 100. We see a 9.8 going for 125. Then it jumped up here to a $50 sale, 27. Here's an $80 sale. So, you know, this is a book that actually kind of started to get pretty hot out there in the market. And if we unsort by sold listings here, we can kind of check back in and see there's only really one available right now on eBay. I think if I sort by buy now, yeah, there's one right here. And that's really it, I think, right now. So kind of an interesting thing to see this book getting so hot out there. But again, is this really the character that we got in the movie? I mean, I feel like the market is kind of deciding that this is the character and everyone is thinking, oh, this is the book that I need to hop on. But, you know, in reality, I'm not really sure if this is actually the character we're going to get. Now, of course, the cover A and, you know, some of the other ones, the variants, those have all been selling very frequently as well. You can see here's a bunch of sold listings. So kind of an interesting thing to see that we see, you know, this one character, this, you know, new actress coming in that's playing whatever the spec character of the movie or the villain of the film who, you know, by all accounts, knowing MCU's history, I mean, this is probably just going to be a one-off character. I mean, it's not like they're going to build an entire, you know, multiverse saga around them. But it's interesting to see that the market actually has two different books that they feel like is the one that relates to that character. Now, it does feel like what Marvel tends to do is, you know, they'll take Dar-Ben and they'll be like, yeah, here's this random Kree, you know, villain that we can pull from, you know, Marvel comic books. And here's a character design of, you know, Captain Marvel's half sister. And let's just put the two characters together. I mean, maybe in the movie, it's going to be like, oh, you know, Carol Danvers, I am your half sister. And then, you know, that's going to be whatever the plot point is. So kind of interesting to see that. But I say all that to kind of check back in on the books in the market that you would think would actually be interesting, but none of these books have been selling. And, you know, when we're talking about Spider-Boy numbers here, for some of those other books, you know, we're selling around the, you know, $35 range, the $50 range, even the $80 range for that Captain Marvel 18 second print. You know, and the Silver Surfer 53 also selling around that, you know, $15 to $20 range. You know, you would think that if you're going to be spending that amount of money on these types of books, why not pick up, you know, a Marvel Superheroes 13 first appearance of Carol Danvers? Or why not pick up a Ms. Marvel #1 first appearance of Carol Danvers as Miss Marvel and first solo title? Or even, you know, an Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16. Here's one that right here sold for $78. This is the first appearance of Captain Monica Rambeau. You got a VF near mint copy. And what did we say the second print sold for? Around the $80 range. I mean, it's kind of interesting to see that, you know, here you have the gift horse in the mouth. You got the actual, you know, one of the leads of the movie that you can get at the same value range as, you know, effectively just kind of this random villain of the movie who essentially is, you know, probably going to just be a one and done. At least Monica Rambeau, we can assume, is going to be in, Secret Wars or Kang Dynasty or something like that. But, not a lot of sales for this overall. Mighty Avengers #1, one sale coming off the trailer. Let's go back here to the Monica Rambeau book. A handful of sales, maybe 5 or 6, which is slightly up from what you would see on a normal day where maybe this book would sell, twice. So not too many overall. The Miss Marvel book, not many at all. Not a lot of people, excited about Brie Larson's character. I think we all know why, but there's 3 books right here that sold. On a regular day, you might see 2 or 1, so not really any difference. Marvel Superheroes 13. Nobody wants this book. This is the book that, just sits in everyone's key issue bin at all the cons you go to. Nobody picks up this book. This one's a really hard sell, and one that has really fallen off from, 2018 when Captain Marvel first came out. Now, the one book that maybe had a slight increase in movement is the all-new Marvel Now .1 #1, right? The first appearance of Kamala Khan as Marvel. We saw, 5 or 6 sales, which is not a lot, but I would say that that's more than we would typically see on a normal day where maybe this book averages 1, maybe 2. In fact, we did actually get a 9.8 sale at the $574 range. Now, that's not necessarily record numbers by any means. In fact, that's probably pretty much in line to what we've been seeing for this book for quite some time. Well, I guess it's a little bit higher. In January, we had a $500 sale, February, a $500, March, a $500, and then here in April, now back up to $575. So, a slight uptick, but nowhere near, what it was selling for back in 2022, where easily it was a $600 book. And then it was a $700, and then $800, and then $1,000. This book has fallen off tremendously from the height of 2021, where it was selling upwards of $1,800. Now it's back down to $500, which, if you're somebody who actually likes this character and believes in them, probably not a bad entry point. Basically selling around its 2020 price, pretty decent overall. But interesting to see that, that's one of the things I think is so funny about the market that we're in today. I think a lot of people would know that, all these first appearances of these characters who are actually the heads of the movie, anyone who wanted to hop on those books has already done them. There's only so many people that, will want to pick up this book in the hype of the trailer. Now, that's not to say that, maybe there's going to be comic collectors out there who go and see the Marvels movie and they actually really enjoy it. And they say, you know what, maybe I should pick up that Monica Rambeau book. That's really, I think, where we're going to start to see an uptick for those books. But it's funny to see what's going on here with the Dar-Ben character and the Silver Surfer 53. Look, the market is the market. The market is always going to FOMO into the surprise characters. I think, last week I was talking about the Blue Beetle trailer and I had the thumbnail said, the market needs FOMO, or the market wants to FOMO. And I think kind of what I was trying to get at with that, and it feels like I'm seeing it again here with this trailer, is that, people just want to buy something, right? Everyone is just, salivating, just being like, what is going to be the character that I can hop on? And even if it's for spec reasons or they think they're going to flip it or not, they just want to be excited about something. And, when they see something new and shiny, whether it's like a random villain in the Marvels movie or it's, Blue Beetle, which again, Blue Beetle's not necessarily new, but, it's the first time people were seeing Blue Beetle in an actual movie trailer, unlike some of these other characters. They just want to hop on something. So it's funny to see that it's like, we've already seen Kamala Khan as Marvel. We've already seen Monica Rambeau. That's not exciting anymore. I've never seen this character. Let me hop on this one here. But it's really, really funny because, again, we have a split book situation going on, a controversy. That's going to mean that it's going to get docked a point on the swag scale, for those books. If we're specking on Dar-Ben or Zawe Ashton's, character, whoever she's actually playing, I would definitely dock that a point on the swag scale because of the fact that now we have a controversy of 2 different books out there in the market. But why is anyone buying any of this stuff? Why are you guys even talking about this? You should be taking your money and buying Spider-Boy. That is the book that is really going to take us to the moon. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. That was me just kind of checking in on the market, looking at some of the movement after the trailer. What did you guys think of the Marvels trailer? Are you guys excited about any of these books? What do you guys think about this villain that everyone is buying up? Anyways, that's all I got. Like, comment, subscribe. See you all in the next video.